Welcome to the One Georgia podcast, a place where we're looking forward to connecting clergy and laity across the state of Georgia through stories where brokenness meets hope and community transformation takes place. Welcome to today's episode. My name is Rodrigo Cruz and I serve as the executive assistant to the bishop and your host for this podcast. And I am joined by our leader and bishop of the Georgia Episcopal area and my co-host of this podcast. Bishop, good morning.
Hello, everyone.
Our guest this week is Reverend Maddie Henderson Herlong, who is serving as a Christian chaplain in the Emory University Office of Spiritual and Religious Life within the boundaries of the North Georgiano Conference. Maddie, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, excited to have you here. Looking forward for this conversation. Bishop?
Yeah, I kind of, my first question, welcome, Maddie. We were just together.
Yes.
Sharing time at Canon Chapel where I preached. How was that sermon?
It was great. I actually heard from...
I need to know.
Let the record know that it was...
Yes.
Don't try to appease the bishop, but tell the truth.
No, I'm not. So we have lunch after the service, and I heard from two people after lunch that you made them cry in a good way. That they just were very moved by the sermon. And then also that your presiding at the table was very meaningful to them too, the way that you presided. So
now, what did you think?
I thought it was great. I've been looking
You get
for
to hear
Jesus.
scholars.
I do.
On a regular,
Yes.
I'm not a scholar. I'm just an old bishop.
No, but that's important.
Trying
we
to
need
feed
people in the
some
world.
bread.
No, I've been looking for Jesus in unexpected ways.
Yeah. Well, I was just really intimidated, believe it or not. Well, not knowing who was going to be there and whatnot.
yeah.
So, of course. And so, you can't be too scholarly where you're above people's heads and then you can't be too lowbrow.
Right.
Where people are like, okay, she needs a little polishing.
Well, it's interesting because, our audience is primarily undergraduate students, but Emory students are so smart.
Yeah.
They do crazy things. I've been to research presentations and I see their titles and it's not English to me. They're researching crazy things in the world. And so, people might hear, they're undergrad, so we can lower it a little. Not at Emory.
Wow.
They are very, very smart, wise people.
Thank you for being gracious to the bishop. I'm not trying to move you or anything. I just wanted to know the truth.
Yeah.
We all need help.
Yes.
Including the bishop. But anyway, Maddie, so thank you for that because we were just together and I had a wonderful time. I wish I could have stayed, but I left Caleb at home alone with my door open. I'm saying that on a podcast for thousands of people.
Make sure your address isn't online somewhere.
That's right.
Nobody call animal control.
That's right. But it was great and it was good to be there. And I'd love to do it again.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. You'll be added to the list.
But talk about your role in Canning Chapel at Candler. Tell us what you do and give us a little bit of your background.
Yes. So I'll start with my background. So I grew up in Macon, Georgia. My home church is Fineville United Methodist Church.
Okay.
And so
Great
this
church.
is some tidbit for you, but on June 2nd, I will be ordained there, which means I will have been baptized, confirmed, married, and ordained all in the same church sanctuary.
Wonderful.
So I will be boohooing. But my granddad, I call him Dado, also known as Don Key, is a retired elder in the South Georgia Conference. So I grew up in the church and was always involved. Went to undergrad at Samford University in Birmingham and majored in English and minored in religion. My dad, who's an accountant, was like, what are you going to do with those? And I was like, I don't know, but I can make good grades. So after that, I taught high school English at my alma mater in Macon, Stratford Academy. And while there, was really involved with the youth group at Vineville. And had 2 Bible studies that I met with before school. And then we would carpool to school and they'd go off to their homeroom. 2 of them were in my homeroom, actually. And so really felt my call to ministry during that time and went to Boston University School of Theology. Since I'd never lived out of the Southeast and knew I wanted to work with college students. but I didn't really at that time know the difference between like a campus minister and a chaplain.
Yes.
So my first year there, our spiritual life director invited me and a couple of my classmates to go to the UMC Next conference that year, which was actually here in Atlanta at the Tabernacle. And so we were charged with kind of asking some questions. And that was one of my main questions is for chaplains and campus ministers, how do you see the difference? So learned that chaplains are typically in the university setting. Did my internship then, my Con Ed internship at Bentley University outside of Boston with the wonderful Robin Olson, who taught me a lot. And then worked in admissions for 2 years for BU and then came to Emory in 2021. And with my granddad is a alum of the college and of Candler. So I told them, you can't tell anyone until I posted it on social media. That did not happen. They told all their friends before I could do that. They were very proud of me. So I've been at Emory since June of 2021. So I'm joking that I'm also graduating this year because this will be my 4 years seeing my first class graduate. And I actually mostly work with undergrads. So I have to I usually say when people ask me what I do, I say, I'm a chaplain at Emory and I work with undergrads because people hear Emory and they think I'm a hospital chaplain. And they hear Emory and I'm UMC. And so they think I work at Candler. And we work with Candler. But our office is actually under the office of the president. So we're more in that structure. So I'm part of a multi-faith team that includes our dean of religious life and university chaplain. Then myself, I'm the Christian chaplain. And we have a Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist, and Muslim chaplain, and then some great staff. So that was a really long-winded way to get there.
Tell me what a Sunday looks like.
So a Sunday looks like, well, I can tell you what a week looks like. I think it's exciting. Yeah. So Sundays, Catholic Mass is at 9:00. Then we do what I call the Great Turnaround. And so the Catholic Center cleans up by 10:30. And then we come in for Beloved Community at 10:30 and set up for our service, which starts at 11.
And it's called
Beloved Community. Yes. And that changed. It used to be called University Worship. And sometime in the last 10, 15 years, maybe it shifted to Beloved Community. And so that's kind of what I inherited when I started here. But under Susan Henry Crow, it was University Worship.
Shout out.
Yes. I really fangirled over her when I met her. I was kind of embarrassed, but it's okay. And so then there's an afternoon mass at 5 on Sundays.
At 5?
Yes, in the chapel. Then Tuesdays and Thursdays, Candler has worship in there. In the mornings at 11:05. On Thursday evenings, there's Buddhist meditation. And then on Fridays around 1:30-ish, there's Juma prayer for our Muslim community. And then on Friday afternoons or evenings, there is Hindu Arti at 5. So all of that happens in this space, and everything is movable in that space. It was built as an interfaith chapel. I think having the organ there still leans Christian. But I think it is as interfaith as we can make it at this point.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. That's great. I love it. And now how much do you participate with the other ecumenical groups that gather?
So, do you mean interfaith or other Christian groups?
Other Christian groups.
Other Christian groups, / interfaith.
Is that better?
So we talk about interfaith and intrafaith work a lot in my office. So I would say the intrafaith work, the Christian work is part of my role is overseeing Christian life at Emory. So for the undergrads, that includes, we have currently 15 active student organizations of different Christian groups. Yes, there's a lot. So I meet with their student leaders at least once a semester. I'm the advisor for some of them. And then we also have 11 religious life affiliates that are Christian.
Okay.
So those are our campus ministries.
Okay.
We call them religious life affiliates at Emory because it's a little more religiously neutral.
Yes.
Because we also have 3 Jewish affiliates. So I liaise with all the religious life affiliates as well.
Wow.
And I say there's kind of concentric circles where there's the affiliates and the student groups. You can't see me doing this on the audio, but so some affiliates have a student group.
Okay.
And some student groups have, don't have an affiliate. So there's sort of overlap there.
Okay.
So I support all of their work as well. One of the groups I've learned a lot from over the last few years is our Orthodox student group. So it's a smaller group, and I get to learn more about their fasting practices. Awesome. They have a different calendar than we do, making sure that they have space to celebrate their traditions. Yes. This year Easter was aligned, but typically it's not. So helping them. Wow. And then on the interfaith side, every day I get to work with my awesome team. I am so blessed to work with amazing coworkers. Yes. And I attend other services every now and then. Yes. I went to a iftar dinner this semester for our Muslim community. And then I actually plan to go tomorrow evening to Buddha Day, our Buddha Day celebration. And then Friday, go to the senior puja for our Hindu community. Yes. Wow. So, but we're always doing stuff together.
No, I think that's wonderful. Yeah. What would you say to listeners or watchers who are watching who kind of guard their own beliefs and their own faith and see everybody else as, you want to stay away from that? What is a word you would like to say to those who have not been open or experienced?
Yeah. I would say
interfaith.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. So they're not intimidated or scared by it.
Yeah. I would say, especially in the South, it can be easy to be scared. And a lot of that is like narratives we receive from media, TV shows, whatever. But more often than not, people want to learn from each other and want to be in relationship with each other. And so I often think about, in my own work, the Pluralism Project, which is out of Harvard. And one of the things...
Don't mention Harvard.
I know, sorry. We can bleep that out. We can bleep it out. Out of...
That's all.
But one of the things that they say is that pluralism is not relativism, but the encounter of commitments, and that pluralism is based on dialogue. And so for me, that overall says it's based on relationships. And so in my experience, I have grown from my encounters with people of other traditions in my own faith, but have also grown as just like a human who lives in a pluralistic world.
Yes.
When it's Ramadan and my colleagues are fasting, I will walk into the room with coffee and then be like, oh, wait, let me step out and like maybe not bring this in the room, So I would just encourage people to make friends with somebody across a tradition, whether it's within the Christian tradition or outside of it, because we have strong walls within our own tradition as well. And encourage people to learn and to seek understanding. But the idea that pluralism is not relativism, but the encounter of commitments means we don't have to water down our faith in order to be in relationship with other people. We get to be Christian, and other people get to be themselves too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And that's helpful for me. Tell me about the students that you encounter, that you engage with. Tell me about, are there some who have not made a decision? Are there some seeking? I mean, how do you connect students with faith? How does that work for you? In this role?
Yeah. So in my role specifically, I encounter students in a variety of ways. The students I know the most deeply are through the beloved community. So they're generally coming because they want Christian worship. We also have a Bible study on Tuesdays and then retreats, a day-long retreat each semester. And so I get to know students deeply through that. Our office has an faith program that's called WISE, Welcoming Interfaith and Spiritual Experiences, which is our pre-orientation program. So Emory has orientation, the 4 days before classes start. And then the week before that, there's these 5 or 6 pre-orientations students can choose from. And so I'll meet students from a variety of backgrounds, whether they have a faith tradition or not, who come through that program. So through that, I also, there's a first-year class called Emory Essentials that all first years take. Yes. And so people from around the university facilitate that class as the teacher, quote unquote. So I facilitate that with our WISE students. So I'm engaging in the classroom with students from a variety of backgrounds or no tradition. Okay. So what's interesting for me is I've encountered more students who haven't grown up with a faith tradition through this job. And having grown up in Macon, Georgia, which I grew up being told that we have the most churches either per square mile or per capita. Wow. I mean, I lived 2 miles from Vineville when I was teaching and passed 3 or 4 other churches on my way to my church, So, engaging with students who don't have a tradition, I'm just excited for them to experience other or any faith, right? Awesome. So it's interesting too, the demographics that we get with that interfaith program. Some years, majority of students come from a background, a religious tradition, but it's diverse. Yes. Other years, it's about 50-50, where people are just interested in learning about religions. Wow. And then some come with deeply held traditions. So it's fascinating. Yes. I love my job.
She said that 10 times to me on Sunday. I love my job. Oh, I love my job. So what are you trying to say here? Is there a message behind that statement? I love my job.
I just want everyone to know how much I love my job. I mean, not everyone can say that, and I really genuinely love my job.
Well, and I'm glad you do.
I will say one other way that I meet students really quickly is, unfortunately, when a tragedy happens. Yes. Whether it's a global, national, or campus tragedy, we are there and responding. So it was either my first or second year, there was a student death on campus, and our office was part of the response team. And we just kind of set up in one of the offices near the dorm where it happened, and students could come in throughout the day. And I met a student who was Jewish, but we met a few times after that for pastoral care because I just happened to be the one who was in the office when that student came by. Yes. So in that way, we have a tradition in our title, but we serve whoever comes through the door.
Yes. Yeah. So how you serve as a chaplain, and it's obvious that you're there for all kinds of events and experiences that students have. How has this worked? Since you've told me 20 times you love your job. How has it challenged you, and how has it deepened your faith? Is it deepening your faith? Is this where God really has called you for such a time as this?
So I started, like I said, in 2021. So this was 2 years after I graduated with my MDiv. And I was one of those classic crisis of faith during my Master of Divinity students. So after graduating, I was still kind of coming out of that and really kind of, I had God back at that point, but there was a lot that I was still trying to work out. So in some sense, starting this role forced me through that, I think faster than maybe if I hadn't been in this role. I had to become a little more grounded in my own faith because I was preaching and teaching and I didn't want to do that inauthentically. But I will tell students, like when they come to my office and have a crisis, I'll be like, been there. It's the worst, not fun. And so in that way, I've really grown and deepened my faith in that respect. It's also challenged me to have my own regular spiritual practices. I mean, I don't think I can encourage students to do that without doing it myself. And then it's challenged and deepened my faith because of the wide variety of Christian traditions I'm exposed to question, okay, how do I worship? Is this just because I was raised in this type of tradition.
Sure. Yes.
I had never really encountered liturgical dance before.
Yeah.
And now I want to have it all the time, you know? Some gospel music songs are my new favorites that I would not have sung in my home church, you know?
Yeah, I saw you jumping up and clapping on Sunday.
Oh, wait, Bishop
Every
Dease.
praise is to our God.
Yes.
She was getting it.
Okay, the funny thing is that you say that. We were dying in worship planning because we were also singing the, what's the one before that?
What, the King of Kings? Or?
No, the Paid Our Debt. From the cross to the grave.
Yes.
And that was a big camp song. And so we had hand motions. And I told them, y'all cannot let me do the hand motions. I cannot be digging a grave in front of the bishop and then raising my hands. Y'all gotta. Why not? There we go. So I kept looking back at one of our students and we were just cracking up. That's why she laughed when she got up to do the passage or to do the benediction. We were all like cracking up in worship planning at this. And so then when we did it on Sunday, we just could not keep a straight face. So yeah.
Well, you certainly enjoyed yourself.
Yes.
That means a lot.
Yes,
That
it
means
does.
a lot to me to see people enjoying themselves in
Yes.
worship. But I have one more question. I'm going to let Rodrigo may have a question.
Yeah.
But where do you see hope, especially with young people? Do you see, tell me about, is there hope for the church as it relates to the call on young people's lives and wanting to enter into these broken denominations that are trying to heal themselves? You know, what are you hearing?
Yeah.
And that would be helpful for us.
Yeah. I would say there is definitely hope for the church. But I think it's in ways that are different than what we've had in the past. I love to look at the research by Springtide Research Institute, which researches the faith lives of young adults or young people 13 to 25, I think they do. And in their 2023 research, they said that a lot of churches are asking, how do we get young people back? When that's the wrong question because they haven't been there, you know?
Right.
So it's like, how do we get people? So I see hope for ministry, but in untraditional ways.
Yes.
I mean, I think of one of my students who did the passing of the peace.
Yes.
She is a nursing major.
Yes.
And every time she gets up there to do the passing of the peace and comes down, I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you applying to seminary?
Yeah.
But I think her ministry is going to be as a nurse.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
And so maybe that means ordaining more deacons. Deacons Unite.
Yes.
But I think that I see hope for the church because there are people yearning for the faith we have to offer them. But I think it is in non-traditional ways.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Maddie, I do have a question for you regarding to that. Right? I mean, not almost. There's a lot of churches across the state that there's a college or university close to them. But also almost every church, they have younger people in their communities that maybe not going the traditional route of schooling. What is perhaps an insight or a misconception that you can give to our listeners, the pastors and laity, in how to engage with this younger generation?
I think we need to listen to them more. I think that they have a lot to offer us. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons I love my job so much is that I get to worship on Sundays because they play such an essential role. I'm not taking every role. Some weeks all I do is welcome people because they have something to say and they have something to offer us. So I think instead of thinking that we're talking at people, we need to be in conversation with them and give them a voice in the church, right? Not think that a degree has to be tied to it or an age has to be tied to it. And I think that's true with a lot of our youth as well, you know? So giving people a voice, I think, is what we need to be doing.
Fantastic. Thank you, Maddie, for that.
Yeah.
Now, any questions you may have for Bishop Dease?
Yes.
What is it?
Yes, Bishop. My question for you is, how do you encourage clergy to do service outside of their paid ministry roles where we are ordained to service?
One way of encouraging them is I think me showing up and doing it myself. And some of what I mean by that now in this role of bishop, I'm doing less of that and moving more towards advocacy work. But prior to being bishop, I was involved in the Children's Trust. I was Center for Heirs Property Preservation. All of these were justice work kind of stuff. I was a police chaplain. I was a prison chaplain. And most of it was volunteer work, serving in these areas. And so I think wherever you see a need, because the needs are great in our community, and where you feel you can offer your skill sets and your gifts and your graces to certainly get involved. I think when people see us on the ground and see us engaged in community and helping to alleviate suffering and whatnot, that inspires them.
That's true.
And it also draws them in, wanting to get to know you and who you are. And so, and it also inspires them to be a part of that work as well. So I am for any work that you want to do in terms of providing service. Wherever you see a need, get involved.
Okay.
You will meet some of the best people from so many different backgrounds. And I just think that we need to be outside of our churches in the community. You need to be outside the chapel and the university in the community, serving in those places where you believe that you can give life and hope. What did you say? Brokenness and hope? So do that. And if there's others you can include in that, please do. So. Yeah, but I encourage it. So do it. Yes. Yeah, it makes us proud to see our folks out there.
That's true.
Doing things outside the box and helping in our communities.
Yeah.
What do you say, Rodrigo? Let me put him on the spot.
Yes, it's been very quiet.
I think the biggest thing for me in this conversation is just to listening to the bishop engaging with the kids. But I think, we lead by example, right? I mean, I think we need to get out of the buildings. We need to meet people where they are. I love your statement, right? Is thinking, we're going to get people back. Well, how do you get somebody back that has never been in, right? And is the goal really to get them inside, right? Or the goal is to get them where they are, engage them, and help them discover God in a transformational way, and do that, right? So I think if pastors, if church staff, if leadership, if we can get out of our buildings and just engage with people, right? In non-traditional ways, like you said, if we can listen to people and do a lot of less talking, if we can just show up and shut up. I mean, I think we can see a new movement of faith across the state and the country that will be life-giving.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been on the outside of it a little bit with the disaffiliations because I haven't been in a local church during this process. But, so I'm a little spared from some of the heartbreak. But for churches that have lost buildings, I see that as an opportunity. That they can meet people in new ways.
Say it loud.
without the constraints that we've had historically. Yeah.
If we can get people, to have a heart for mission rather than a heart for buildings.
Yes.
We can change 8 million lives in Georgia.
Yes.
We really could.
Yeah.
So let's pray that happens.
Let's do it.
Now let's start with you.
Oh, gosh. No pressure. No pressure.
Thank you both for this powerful conversation.
Thank you.
To our listeners, especially our clergy, if you want to, you may be in a season where you need to fall in love again with your job, with your calling. Call Maddie. Let her inspire you to love what you do. And to all of us, right? If you want to keep learning how to engage with people in non-traditional ways, reach out to her. Her information is here on the notes, and let's see where God leads you.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And I'll see you at annual conference.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, where I get my stole.
Yes.
Indeed.
From my granddad. Yes.
Well, that's fantastic. One more time, this has been the One Georgia podcast, produced by our North and South Georgia Communication Department. Thank you, Sybil and Kelly. And recorded by our stellar video and audio producer professional, Robbie Pancake. See you guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.